Hi, hello, my name is India, and today I want to reflect on some of my reading goals that I had for the year of 2024. I had 3 different forms of goals when it came to my reading. I had a list of books that I wanted to get to. I had a list of general goals that I wanted to achieve each month. And then I had a bingo card or bingo board that I made for myself to kind of inspire my reading throughout the year. So let's talk about the books that I wanted to read and whether or not I got to them. I'm going to put a picture somewhere, probably here, of my little spread that I did. So on the first side, I had 9. I know how to count. 9 books that I wanted to get to, and I got to 5 of them. That's roughly half, so I feel pretty good about that. So of these books, I read Nona the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, Death by Laura Thalassa. Oh no, I only read 4. Okay. Death by Laura Thalassa, The Talented Mr. Ripley by Patricia Highsmith, and Four Souls by Louise Erdrich. Yeah, I feel relatively good about that. I wish that I had gotten to the other 5 books on that page, but I don't know, some of those are gonna roll over into the books that I want to read next year. The other page was more like ideas that I wanted to get to, so I wanted to read a book by one of the Brontes. I reread Wuthering Heights. I wanted to read Let Us Descend by Jesmyn Ward, which I also did. I thought this year was going to be the year that I read Middlemarch by George Eliot. I did not do that. I did not even try to do that. I don't think next year is the year that I read Middlemarch, but yeah, it's okay. I'm a little bit disappointed, but it's fine. And then I wanted to read a Thomas Hardy, and I'm currently in the middle of The Woodlanders by him. So yeah, he's just an author that I want to read from because I have a lot of his books. Then I had 6 goals that I was keeping track of throughout the year, and some of them I kept track of better than others. So the first goal was to read books from genres that were outside of my comfort zone. I didn't really keep track of this, mostly because it's a little bit of an arbitrary, like, how do you track what is outside of my comfort zone? Because that could be the length of a book. When it comes to genres, I was thinking more like, oh, science fiction, fantasy, nonfiction, that type of thing. So I didn't really keep very good track of it, but I did discover that I really like monster romance, which was very outside of my comfort zone, and I count that as a win overall. Next, I wanted to keep track of my TBR and how it was growing, whether it was growing. I wanted it to be a net 0 or net negative change. And I did pretty well with this. This year I did not bring in a lot of new books to me. And when I was thinking about purchasing books, a lot of them were books that I had read. So yeah, I think I did pretty well with that one. Then I wanted to continue series. I did a little bit, but I also, this was okay, I kind of did it. Yes. Reading books that I'd put off. This is another one that is kind of arbitrary, and hard to keep track of necessarily, but I'd say I did a relatively good job of reading books that I'd put off, or just getting rid of books that I realized that I didn't want to read. Then I wanted to read a nonfiction a month, or make sure that I'm continuing to read diverse nonfiction. I did okay with this. I read, I don't know how many nonfiction I read this year, but it didn't account to being one a month, but I read about 12, I think. Looking at these tallies, I'm like, that seems about right. And then I wanted to read books before their release date because I have access to a couple of ways of reading advanced readers or advanced listeners copies, and I wanted to prioritize like taking advantage of that, and I did that kind of well. I did it better this year than I have in past years where I've had this opportunity, and it's something that I want to continue doing. Lastly, I have my bingo board. I love bingo boards a lot. I love a reading bingo board. I love a reading challenge that's set up in this way. So my cat is getting into stuff. I make myself a bingo board, and I'll talk about what my plans are for the bingo board next year because I'm excited about it. But I did indeed get a bingo. Pat on the back. I think my goal was to get more than one bingo and to get closer to getting a full blackout. That was not the case, but I still liked having this as a means of like tracking my reading and inspiring my reading when I didn't know what to pick up. So I could always go to it and be like, I don't know what I want to read, and choose something based on a square that I needed to. So overall, I think I did a pretty good job of achieving these goals. Some of them made more sense to me and my reading than others, and that's just useful information for me to have going forward. And yeah, I'll be making a little video about my goals for the coming year later, or at the start of the year, who knows. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you are someone who likes to have reading goals, likes to have reading plans, or if you're someone who does not. That I respect both. I'm typically not a goal person, but when it comes to my reading, I like to have little fun things that I can do and keep track of and pay attention to. So yeah, have a good rest of your day, and I will see you when I next see you.